So what I've done is I've compiled the work of an architect whose work I have visited personally, thanks to college based on an exchange program. Couple of years back, I could visit Taiwan, and there is a city to the north of Taipei that is called Ilan. And Ilan is a very well-known now very well-known architect called as Yuan Yuan Sen, and Yuan Sen's work is a work that can easily be anyone's thesis work. Yeah. So the best part is that Yuan Sen's work is not only urban. It's There are urban inserts all throughout. Someone's mic is on. Kindly please work on your mic. Yeah. So Yuan Sen's work is urban. Not only is it urban, it is yeah. Not only is it urban, also it is as inserts all over the city, which most of our thesis students work with. Yeah, of making inserts that are all across the city, and very important that it is very structurally oriented. So for a technology faculty like me, it is just wonderful to understand that how structure in every aspect of the so to say design can actually so to say work with the design. Yeah. So I'm going to show three of his projects, of the number of projects that he has done in the city of Ilan, Yilan. This I'm pronouncing specially such that uh, if you are interested to follow up on his work, because his work is considered very interesting, then you can have a look at it. The office is usually known as field office. Field office architects and our number of our students have been there earlier to work as apprentices during the 7th semester. Anybody yet keen to go out of the country, didn't get the opportunity due to the pandemic, then field office is a place to try. It's like a big studio, a very vibrant, yeah. Uh, he himself is very informal. So let me go about explaining you how this project starts. This is also a very fine example. Sense projects are also a very fine example of how an architect can, so to say, collaborate with the city, municipality, politicians, and yeah, and bring about great change and more important projects for himself. So the project actually starts with, in some sense, uh, starts with the idea of converting an old public library into a children's library. We all know public libraries are now becoming defunct to a very large extent because a lot is digitally available. Old books, yeah, become difficult to access other than being manuscripts. If they are manuscripts, they have value. Otherwise, old books are these days, newer editions come out, older books are become yellow, tattered, get insects in them. And more important of all, with the digit on the digital front, when so much of data is available, um, libraries all over the world are becoming defunct. On one hand, on the other hand, for the children, it's neither wise to ask them to log on to computers to be in a position to read. So the idea of having a children's library or converting the conventional library into a children's library has led to all these initiatives that we are going to see in Sen's work. So the idea was that in the middle of the city, the old public library is into a children's library. They overdo the entire library such that children's book come in, new programs are set in. But it just doesn't stop at that. It just doesn't stop at working with a building. The idea was, how do we make the environment safe for children to land up to the library? Yeah. So it was Sen's idea. It was Sen's idea to intervene at every point in the city. Yeah. To intervene at every point in the city to see that children reach the public library or reach the library as good as without crossing a road. Yeah. So their parents don't need to be worried if their children are coming back from the library or going from school to the library. So all initiatives were made to see that children don't cross roads. They come in minimum interface with the traffic. So here in the center, if I do not, if you can see my cursor, here in the center is the public library. And we're going to see a couple of projects that is across this river. So Sen's first work is an addition to the river, yeah, a bridge, yeah, an addition to the existing bridge. This is the river Elan. The city's got its name based on the river. That's Elan. That's the flood bank, yeah. That's the buffer left when it rains heavily and the area floods. So you don't build right up to the edge of the river. You can see the road is pretty far, and that's the flood bank. This is a photograph taken in the climate of Taiwan is like that. It rains frequently, but these are not one of those heavy monsoon months. That's why you don't see and they manage their water wells for all their infrastructure. So we're going to see three projects. One is the river. We're going to see a housing project later on, another cultural center, and station area development. So we're going to see three works that are there. So that's the public library, and the first project is about making an addition to the river. So here is the river, and here is a motorized single carriage road, yeah, that crosses the river, and it was without much place to walk on it. It was found unsafe for children, old women, yeah, to walk across the older part of the town to the newer part of the town. Yeah, the old part of the town is on the other side of the river. The new part of the town is on this side of the river, and so an attachment, a kind of a structural attachment was done to the existing bridge by way of a walkway. And this was Sen's idea. Sen's idea was to create this kind of a suspended bridge. Yeah, Sen works with a lot of steel and hence understands the importance of the material, and so does a suspension structure well. So here is a bridge that so here are these flagpole like kind of suspenders that he has in place. Yeah, these are suspenders, actually suspenders. He creates these metal brackets which goes from the bottom of the bridge till this extension, and these are suspenders that further hold and then he's greened the bridge to a very large extent to go with the landscape. So walls are green, yeah, the railings are kept high so the children don't fall off. It becomes a cyclist area. It has worked well. Yeah, you can look at it in detail. It's like now a green bridge. Yeah, there is a place in the center of the bridge where people sell their wares. There are hawkers. Yeah, you can look at the brackets. You can look at it's like an addition. Yeah, there are lights. Look at the suspenders, they are lights. He had a lot of opposition. He had a lot of opposition from the builder, from the municipality, from the politician. But finally, everybody gathered that it was something wise to do, yeah, for the people, yeah. And finally, it came about being, yeah. And he worked relentlessly against it, towards it. Had he not worked against for this project, perhaps he would have never got any further work, because it is this project that led him to get other works. Yeah, and you can see when the floodplain is dry, even the lower parts of the bridges are now getting activated. People use them. Yeah, and so yeah, you can gather the character of the bridge. It's a very structural. So if you look at it, there's nothing beautiful to the bridge in some sense. To a very large extent, it's structural, largely structural members. There is nets toward at the higher end to be ensured that people don't fall off. You can see women, children. Bicycling is a very is a very it's a very strong culture in Taiwan, and so yeah, this is what you can. This is how it works. Yeah, below the bridge. Then the next project that came about. Yeah, so one was the bridge across the river Elan. Yeah, and if you look at it, it's a contraption. Yeah? It's a very lightweight, sensitive contraption. So that was at one end of the city. The other end of the city is the railway. The other end of the city is a railway station, and it was thought befitting that the station be made, because though this project, I'm not showing them in chronology, but today this effort of making the city child friendly has literally got the identity that Elan is a child city. Yeah, you'll see an image, you'll see that the entire character or the entire identity of the so to say station is based on children's identity. Am I audible considering it's raining really heavily outside? Can someone just let me know whether I'm audible?
Yes. Yes.
I'm clear?
Yes.
Okay. So the next project, as you see, is a station area, also known as Jimmy Plaza. Yeah. So you're going to deal with three Jimmys today. Jimmy Plaza, me taking a class, and then the encounter by Jimmy Lim. Yeah, he's a very renowned architect, unlike me. Yeah. So Jimmy Plaza is I was excited to be at a place that is named after me. Jimmy Plaza is again a students' pavilion. Yeah, it's a parking lot for bicycles. Yeah, largely for those students who bicycle to the university, and normal people who need to lead their bicycles here before they take before they board the fast trains to get to Taipei. Yeah, for those people who to visit Taipei. Um, it it is it seems why so that's a kind of arrangement that is done for them. Yeah, so uh, that's the so to say um, yeah, that's the so to say um, so it's the idea was that the station was a heavily forested area. Sen's image of the station area was a heavily forested area, and over a period of time, Elan station has lost its forest cover. If you all of Sen's work actually talk about building, land, and water. Yeah, they stay in a e- very fragile ecosystem. When they stay in such a fragile ecosystem, yeah, it doesn't make sense. They all are, they all are, the awareness is very high, and they are working towards them. Yeah. Uh, so his earlier memories of a heavily wooded station area, he's able to recreate through this pavilion. It's a structural steel pavilion. Yeah, it's a structural steel pavilion worth yeah, so it's a structural steel pavilion with a lightweight roof, and as we go ahead, you'll gather, yeah, that it's again worked with the identity of the children. So there is a suspended train. There are areas for children's stationary areas. Most important of all, it's a it's a place to protect oneself when one gets out during the heavy rains. So it acts like one of our skywalks where you can walk underneath to come to the to come or pick up your bike during the heavy rain. So the pavilion is like a protective thing just outside the station so that you can conduct your activities before you can dress up and leave, or yeah, things like that. So here's how the station looks like. Yeah, it's not something that that an infrastructure project, but the identity that Ilan is a children's sensitive city has been brought about by these paintings, animals, and yeah, plant life. And Ilan also boasts of a very well-known zoo. Yeah, so Ilan, so that's how the idea of that's how the idea of a public library or a children's library has initiated into so many inserts across the city. Yeah, that's how the plaza from inside looks like. My uh, the evenings are very vibrant. Yeah, people are there, hawkers are there selling their wares to people who are leaving or coming from the station area. Yeah, uh, people are there for to get themselves photographed, to pick up stuff. Yeah, and the older buildings are sensitively tucked into the peripheries of the building. And more important of all, what you're not seeing in this image is a large bicycle parking area that's there. Yeah, so that's the lightweight roof on top. He's used multicolored various shades of greens as the roof cover. You can look at the detailing of it. It's uh, it's collaged. It's collaged to give you the idea of the green as the sunlight passes through that. And yeah, and again very structural intervention in a public area to create a new identity. Yeah. I was very keen to actually take this lecture in person when we would meet in college as part of IDS, but somehow um, when I ran short of time, I thought that at least this is available at hand and I shouldn't waste the day. So I should, and you never know um, to who it may just inform to work with their thesis. People I may be struggling with the idea of the thesis and how to go about it. And especially when you work in cities, you don't want to take very large projects. You shouldn't take very large projects. Instead, you should take inserts in areas that you think can bind the city together through their interventions. So this is a fine example. These are fine examples of doing that. The third is, sorry, this image is blurred. The third is a pavilion. Yeah. Now this is something that Shen pulled off using his political clout or using his political contacts. It's a cultural center, comprises of a large pavilion. Yeah. As you see, it comprises of a large pavilion, large structural pavilion sitting in the midst of an open ground and a running track. Uh, don't forget that it yet works with the ecology, so natural water systems are not disturbed. Yeah, and one part of the pavilion is the congregation space. Large part of the pavilion is again congregation space. Yeah, again the pavilion is representative of the woods. Yeah, um, there are screens that are pulled down during events to represent as if you are in a wooded area. Yeah, the strong notion that Ilan was always a highly vegetative suburb or district of Taiwan is strongly inbuilt with Shen's work. Yeah. So here you see is the open space. So he's used like he's done one third. One third is kept open, another one third is a covered congregation space, and the third third one third is the amenities. Yeah, so it's called as the Ludong Cultural Working House. Ludong Cultural Working House, a very well-known project for documented under pavilions. The Ludong Cultural Working Center has an art gallery, student amenity center. Yeah, and has been improvised over the years because it's been such a big project. Yeah, the municipality, the politicians have pumped money slowly, steadily. Sometimes there have been people who are not in favor, so projects have stopped, and that has helped Shan improvise upon the design. And if you see his improvisations, yeah, so that's the kind of the covered one-third area. And if you look at the rear end is a dynamic cantilever that is inserted in the pavilion. If you look at it, it's a horizontal tube that has been inserted through the pavilion that cuts across the one-third of the pavilion at an angle. Yeah. And that's the amenity center at the top of it that comprises of a gallery, student center, cafe, all kinds of things that are compactly linearly arranged in a tube with a grand staircase that takes you on top. Yeah, look at these. So it's a tube. It's a tube. Yeah, you can see the staircase, how it leads. Yeah, across the column. It's a tube. Very so the pavilion in its sense is very so to say simple, large canopy, but the two tubes that are further inserted in the canopy take the entire project away, yeah, by way of its structural innovation. These are, if you look at these columns, the columns are innovated such that they can be climbed upon. These columns are used to climb upon to suspend screens, large screens, and hence the idea of a large column and a thin column with strutting in between that literally acts like a ladder. So a lot to learn from his work. Yeah, just a lot to learn from his work. Yeah, that's the kind of, and the structuralism of the project is lending entire identity to the project. Yeah, so schools come there to conduct workshops, public events, yeah, all kinds of things. If you type Ludong Cultural Center, you'll see all kinds of you can see concerts taking place, expositions. It's such a large volume that it can support all kind of public event. And that's what he's pulled off. That's what he's pulled off with the idea once he starts working with the municipality. So he starts with the small ideas of the bridge and the railway station pavilion, and then bags this very large cultural center that is there. The fourth project, I showed you three. I showed you the bridge, the Ludong Cultural House, and Jimmy Plaza. Now the fourth is a housing project, a social service housing project that sits. He's lucky, I could say, though he's done a lot of projects, and I'm not showing all the works that we were taken to in Elan. There are 8 to 10 very renowned projects that he's done, but they don't go with the idea of the children's city that he's worked with. What you see here is a housing project that he gets along with a social service center just at the edge of the bridge. Yeah. So once you come across the bridge, there's a plot. There's actually an informal settlement, a very large informal settlement. Yeah. San has worked over the years to break boundaries. All his projects starts by removing boundary walls. You will not believe. Wherever you'll see San intervened as a public building, the first is he will approach the adjoining plots. He will approach the adjoining plots to help them either get away with their boundary walls or allow them to access their plots. Yeah, and he's developed such a good reputation as an architect now. He's now a public figure that people have obliged over years, thereby allowing uh, movement from in between. So he used this initiative of his to allow the children to move through various plots without actually having to cross roads to come to the public library. So he made us go through industrial setups, markets, yeah, official corporate houses, all of these plots. He opened up their boundary walls either by a small wicket gate, either by a puncher. At times he painted the roads, yeah, to portray that this is a children's walking path. So if there are heavy vehicles or cars crossing them within the plot, like he walked us through a distillery, and in the distillery he just marked out the pathway through which a child would be walking through if he crossed the distillery plot to go on the other side of the road. And all he did is he used graphics on the road, yeah, just to see that someone who's motoring through the large plot of the distillery is careful to know that there could be children who could be walking through the plot that is there. Small initiatives. He took small initiatives to make the city known as it is today. Today, Ilan is known as a child city, but more important of all, Sen has worked not only with the idea of the environment, but more important of all, he has opened up boundaries. So here is this project where he's working with an informal community, and you'll see that his housing project literally sits in between the informal community. So it's a social service housing project. Yeah, it sits in the midst of this informal community of smaller houses, dwellings, and that's the kind of social housing that he's built. It's dense. It's pretty dense. It's pretty dense not only on the housing project. We'll see how he's now his housing project. The idea of continuity. He uses the housing project as a connect. So the bridge that gets you there, yeah, allows you to cross the road. So the idea of the bridge continues. It's not that he abandons the earlier bridge project and concentrates on the housing. No, he doesn't do that. He has a road to cross from the bridge to come to the housing project. And he continues with that idea of the bridge, of the pedestrian bridge, and gets it right up to the housing project. And that's the housing that he's worked. I'm showing you the housing project only to show the kind of variety that is there in its application. Yeah. So here it is, so to say, how it is arranged. Yeah, the kind of how the kind of blocks he works with. More important, if you see, they're as good as no boundary walls. They're just hedges that separate the social service housing plot. You see bridges between the blocks as a connect. The ground is entirely open. Yeah, everybody can walk through the. Yeah, everybody can walk. Instead, he uses the tiling graphics such that people can walk through the project. That's the informal housing that is there on its along its periphery, and you can look at the kind of informality that is got in the building itself by using diverse material, and builds upon the character by way of trying to get identity into the housing block by way of projecting the housing blocks, color, getting them. Yeah, so you can look at them of how it comprises of a hall. It comprises of a multi-purpose hall. The ground floor largely has ground and first floor largely has all amenities towards that community. And that means there are large bathrooms. One can walk in and take a bath. Changing rooms, lockers. On one wing of the building, the other wing, there's a lot of amenities for all our class 4 workers. That means the cleaning staff, sweeping staff, all of them. Yeah, it's all of or they are all well accommodated in this social serving housing project. For nurses, for all these people who are working in today's day and time, we've been seeing their efforts that are there. This This amenity built years back is actually serving the lower strata of the society. One of the wings is accommodating the men's amenities. The other wing accommodates the women's amenities. Vibrant. We could see men walk in, having bathing and and using the laundry facility. Yeah, we didn't see the hall in use, but we could see what kind of a vibrant place it was, and the porosity of the building by way of the bridges, the pockets created due to the way he built. Yeah, though it's not to do with children, but since it sits on the spine, he uses the walkway. Yeah, he uses the walkway to walk through the internal courtyard. So this is the internal courtyard of the housing. Yeah, you can look at the porosity that is there. These are areas through which people walk through. Yeah, and it's also part of the children's path to lead to the public library in that sense. And that's how the edge of the housing project looks like. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I'll just go quickly back to see someone has been. Uh, I'll just quickly show you a video that his office has produced. Um, can you hear and see the video?
回应威尼斯建筑双年展今年的主题 Free Space， 台湾馆想要表达的是，建筑可以改变一个地方。这件事情呢，每个建筑师都可以做得到，而这也是田中央一贯的主张。因此，台湾馆今年特别邀请田中央来担任参展人，希望可以透过他们20年来在宜兰的经验，代表台湾建筑界，把这样的主张把它提出来，并且跟全世界进行交流。自由呢，对于田中央来讲，并不是一句空话，而是在一个相对来讲那个小的这个空间里面，替别人把真实的空间营造出来的过程。那这个空间有多小呢？对他们来讲，大概就是一个30分钟车程以内的一个空间范围里。那个他们也会让身体跟山海水土重新再连接在一起。因此呢，我们才把今年台湾馆的主题定为“活在宜兰，连接山海水土”。宜兰呢，在台湾的东北边，距离台北只有1个小时的车程。纵使跟台北这么近，它还是保留了它自己独特的文化以及呢生活地景的经验。那这20多年来呢，田中央那个其实就是在这样的一个半都市、半农村的一个地方呢，把一个独特的那种生活空间的经验把它给营造出来。我们相信呢，在这样的一个地区里面，把这样的那个生活空间营造出来的经验呢，应该是足供全世界来共享。
One of the projects that you saw there is the concrete, exposed concrete work is another, it's known as the Cherry Blossom Cemetery. Another very important initiative that he took with the municipality. The municipality decided to put a garbage dump at the top of the city, on the hills of the city. Yeah, and when he gathered about the proposal, he opposed the proposal, saying that nobody puts garbage at the top. Yeah, it makes sense. He used this logic to be able to convince them to change the idea of being able to go and dump garbage at the hilltop, because he said that when it rains, all the effluence of the garbage will come down into the city. and will pollute everything. Yeah. So garbage dumps are not to be built on high grounds. Garbage dumps are to be built on low grounds and along the outer edges of the city, such that their effluents don't flow through the city. Yeah, very logical explanation that led to changing of the proposal, and instead he portrays that the place had a very spiritual the place has a very spiritual take to it, and so uh, and so uh, and so perhaps the idea of the idea of getting symmetry, yeah, they so to say protect the vases in the of the ashes of their deceased. So a symmetry and a visitors center, that means a funerary center was set up in the hills, and it's the well-known cherry blossom cemetery grounds that are there. It's most of the time in the clouds. Just imagine a garbage dump in the clouds. So um, there are a number of projects that one would get to actually see when once in when once in when one is in so to say Elan. I'm done with the talk today. We are around 11. Is there any queries that I can take since I've visited most of these places and know the project at first hand? I did show these projects for a particular reason. The reason is not one, the reasons are multiple. The first reason, yeah, hello. I showed these for a number of reasons. The first reason is that I thought, first of all, that this is in reality, he has approached the city holistically. Yeah, in reality, in the sense is as a practical project, but for sure for a thesis, which is an academic process, people are supposed to think in this particular manner. Yeah, this is the way to go about it. This is the actual way to go about it in so to say addressing or looking at your city. Yeah, so that's what he's done to a very large extent, is that he's addressed the city to he's addressed the city at various levels, thereby taking the lens of the children's activity and being able to tie the city. So that was one thing. The other, what I was very keen to show, is that all his work had structural innovations in them. Yeah, very clear structural innovations. It was that, yeah, it was that it was that he believes that structure itself can lend identity, and in most of them, so a couple of them are like infrastructure projects, the bridge, the station area. Yeah, and that has led new identity, to Elan as a city. Yeah. The third is there's many takeaways. The third is that he believes that no idea can be small and no idea can be large. He works with a small idea like that as the contraption to the bridge and lands up doing big things. Yeah, like the Ludong Cultural Center. Yeah, so it starts with that. He also believes that though however structurally he works with, he believes that Elan has always been a green city. The idea of his earlier impressions of the woods, he takes ahead, and yeah, he metamorphizes them through his structural works. Yeah, be it the Ludong Pavilion, or be it the Jimmy Plaza Pavilion. All of them have not only a structural but are also portrayal of the so to say wooded character that Elan has. Yeah, and thereby he's addressing the greens in some sense, or he's at least he is working with a concept. Yeah, that the city is well known for. And lastly, which Shang is most well known for, is that he's got away with boundaries. He doesn't believe this is my plot, my project. He goes ahead and and gets people to work together. Yeah, he uses his political clout to get people to open up. Yeah, for the good of it. No misuse in some sense. So all cultural works, they don't limit themselves to the plot he's been given. Yeah, they get connected. Uh, People from the adjoining, so to say, communities feel that the project done beside them is as much as theirs as it belongs to the city. So in most sense, there's a lot of learning that is there. Yeah, and I thought it befitting to put these projects up, because I thought that most of you may be struggling with the idea of the project. Your thesis project. You may be working in a new city. You may be working for Mumbai city as part of your thesis, and doing small interventions. Yeah, doing small interventions is the big secret. Other than trying to identify a big plot, yeah, finding big plots in Mumbai is impossible. So finding small pockets, doing small urban interventions, and tying the city with the lens or the idea that you have worked as your research is perhaps the way to go ahead. And that's why I thought uh, that presenting this project was important. Yeah, can I have some responses of anybody or any queries? Are you all there, or are you all run off somewhere else?
We are here.
Yeah, so then you have nothing to say? Yeah, nobody has anything to say? Why are people... Please don't put things on the chat box. We'd like you to on your mic and talk.